We are expecting to learn new details today following the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs in New York City, as he's expected to be arraigned this morning. Eyewitness News reporter Irene Cruz here in studio with the latest. Irene.
Yeah, Rachel, this case marks one of the biggest takedowns of one of the most prominent producers in hip-hop history.
To Jay-Z. Jay-Z immediately got on the phone and called Puff and said, yo, my man, you don't want this to get out.
Stars CBJ. CBJ being one of the people named in the more than 90-page lawsuit from music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones, which claims both men were grooming Jones into doing sex acts he did not want to participate in.
Diddy is facing some serious heat after his arrest on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. His lawyer Mark Agnifilo is fighting back hard, saying they saw this coming from a mile away, and that Diddy voluntarily relocated to New York. Why? In anticipation of the charges, according to his lawyer, he's ready to go toe-to-toe with the feds, and despite the heavy charges, he's confident in pleading not guilty.
Very much understandable. With that being said, now that an arrest has been reported by TMZ and the media outlets are taking advantage of reporting it as well, they're going pretty much minute by minute, just letting people know what's going on. What does Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, what should be expected to happen next in this regard?
The next thing, he's going to be arraigned, and there's going to be a discussion of bail, if bail will be available for bail to him. And one of the concerns that he has to have is that he was picked up at an airport prior to him being raped. Right? Very suspicious. And then he's also made some financial transactions with the selling of some of his interests in corporations, or I think there was also some issues with some things that were sold as far as his interest in some of the masters of his art. Those things are going to be red flags for a court to say, look, this guy has to very well has to mean that if we let him out of jail to flee and for us to never put our hands on him. So therefore we're not going to afford him bail. And that's going to be troubling, because it is extremely difficult to fight your case from prison. I personally don't like doing that because they tell you that they don't, and law enforcement is not going to like you for saying this. But I know that they listen to those jail tapes, even though they shouldn't. And so, if you've ever been in jail and they ask you if you're a lawyer and blah, 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 there have been instances where I know lawyers' conversations with their clients have been heard by law enforcement. And so it's very difficult to fight your case when you're in jail. And so a lot of times if I have a client, I won't do something. I'm not doing anything unless we're in a room without a recording device and we're having a face-to-face conversation.
Makes sense. Can I ask you, in your opinion, is Diddy a flight risk?
Absolutely. Like I said it before, this man has sold assets. He has to move. He has private planes. According to the record, I'm not in the case. I'm not a prosecutor. I'm not a defense attorney in this particular case. But according to reports, when he got onto his private plane last time, he turned off his tracking. I don't know how accurate that is, but if that is something that is possible, then that gives him the ability to hop on an airplane and fly anywhere in this world and not be tracked. And so, knowing that, it's going to be almost impossible for him to, for court to potentially release him.
So they normally say the feds don't get involved. They probably got an ironclad case. They're not gonna, like you said, they're not gonna spend their money, of the people's money, to try to go after the person that went down, saying that we have something here. Everyone knows the statistics. The federal government normally has a 97% conviction rate. Will there be a situation in which you see that Irv Gotti, So some people have beat him. But will this probably be a plea, a cop out, a plea deal for less time? Something the federal government may want, you feel?
I mean, I think honestly the only way that he is going to receive some consideration in this case is if he implements other individuals. And this becomes a star-powered criminal matter. I mean, he's going to have to talk about people that were at these events or at these parties or who may have been present during these incidents that he's accused of doing. And so it's going to have to be someone that the feds can hang their hat on and say that they're going to bring down. So this is my next prediction. I think possibly they're going to investigate this as a sex ring in which there were other artists who took part in these parties or events.
The charges include sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, alongside accusations that he engaged in a pattern of abuse toward women, including manipulating them into participating in orchestrated sexual activities. His legal team is calling the prosecution unjust and pushing for Diddy's release, framing him as a self-made entrepreneur and philanthropist who's being wrongfully targeted.
Women like Cassidy were abused or raped, or whatever the term that you want to use. They're going to be looking for other people's names in this criminal matter. And so the only way that he is possibly going to look at less time is if he provides those names and details so that they can make further arrests.
So again, without you knowing much about the case and what evidence they have, the criminal matter here you feel could be an orchestrated sexual ring versus a RICO or like trafficking, but
it's going to be all of the above. It's going to be all of the above. When the government decides to come after you in a criminal matter, they're throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, out the window. I mean, they're coming and hoping that it sticks. And so, RICO, because one of the concerns that I have in the RICO charge is that you remember the video that involved Cassidy. The person who got rid of that video was paid. And so I said it I think the first time that I was on your YouTube channel, that anytime that those monies involve the use of interstate commerce and transfer, meaning wires, meaning Cash App, or any type of electronic transfer of funds, that brings that in. And so, there was a lot of potential hush money that was issued during this time period. And so all of those things are going to be taken in consideration.
Okay, the one thing I make sure we want to let the fans know is this trial could be an ongoing process. We've seen the situation where R. Kelly's trial took 8 years and he was out on bond. Do you feel, because they went so quickly to arrest him, I guess, a little bit after November to arrest, that this may be speedy or this may be long and drawn out?
No, it's going to take a minute because, you got to remember that petition that Cassidy originally filed was pretty lengthy, and it made tons of allegations. And so you're going to have to look at what part of those things and what part of things that the feds found outside of that are going to be used against them. And so it's going to take his defense team time to sort through all those things and potentially line up defenses and send private investigators out, talk to individuals and find out if they truly believe the same things or hear the same things from these potential witnesses that they heard.
Okay, so if there are anyone else out there that is involved in the Diddy part, just maybe possibly did something illegal from the early 90s up until now, what should they do? Because I know someone probably listening that was at a party and I'm curious if they should call a lawyer or not.
I mean, I'm going to let you say it. I'm not going to say it. But there are some key individuals that have been in several of these videos. At this point, I'm sitting down with my lawyer and I am describing what I saw and what took place in trying to get an assessment of my risk, right? So let's say, for example, let's say you and I were at Combs event, and you were a host, all right? Let's just say you were a host. You would call me up and say, hey, look, I hosted this party. I was there between these hours and these hours, but my face and voice are all over these videos. Do I have cause for concern? I'm going to say, let's sit down and look at it. Is there anything in your emails, anything in your text messages, with your communication with him that would lead anybody, a reasonable witness, or juror, to believe beyond a reasonable doubt that he had insight to know what was going on behind closed doors with those parties? And if it is, then at that point we need to make sure that we start creating that buffer to prevent you from getting sucked up into this black hole. If you didn't, then at that point there may be a lawyer who says, hey, look, I don't know is my client a person of interest? Right? And they say, well, no. Or they say yes. Say, okay, that's fine. Then we'll do a proper agreement. We'll come down and we'll tell you what we know, but I'll let you know my client doesn't really know anything. They were hired to do this party.
Diddy, whose real name is Shaq Holmes, was arrested following an investigation into some truly disturbing allegations. The core of the charges revolves around sex trafficking and racketeering, heavy crimes that involve manipulation, abuse, and exploitation of women.
Because they were famous, or because they were a name to draw people to this event. However, he knew nothing about what took place behind closed doors, or she didn't know anything that took place behind closed doors. And so we would go ahead and have that discussion so that we can get taken off of the list. If you wait, then at that point, you're fighting against an indictment or fighting against an arrest. It's a lot easier not to get indicted than to fight it before you get arrested.
Outside of fighting it, if let's say someone was involved in an incident with Sean Combs, can they go ahead and just say, hey, I'm here to help, not hurt. Here's what I know. Let me just get all of it.
I mean, it's something that's done on a regular basis. Okay. Something that's done on a regular basis. And so, that's something that individual has to decide if that's something that they want to do. And I get it, man. I mean, look, we have a culture that says that thou shalt not snitch, thou shalt not tell. But the reality,
you ever heard of Gene Deal? Yep. Okay. So like Gene, like 14 years older than me, 15 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But he was a probation officer. So he operated a little bit different. I was in the street full time. I was outside in the field. So you would hear Gene say when they got a threat on their life, Diddy told him, I'm not trying to hear that shit, dude. Because it's your job to be gangster. It's your job to get wild with people. That's what you get paid for. So when you see people like that coming out, it's because they know for a fact like this things that's going on they don't agree with, but they not man enough to say, you know what, I'm not standing for you. So a lot of people love me because if I see some guys doing something crazy to a female, hold on, but not in front of me, that'll lead me to get like, oh, we ain't gonna hire him no more because he's not gonna allow this. So that's how like I ended up, like whenever Imana called me, I'm immediately coming because like he's not on this strange shit y'all on. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like this I don't want to say his name, I'm trying to contact with him. Let me be careful here. Let me be careful because that stuff about Diddy real.
What do you think about the Meek Mill accusations?
Okay. You know, I used to bodyguard Rocky Press, who was signed to Rose.
Yep.
Right. Now, Meek said he wouldn't do a song with Rocky because Rocky wasn't street. Right. So, little things that take place, and people will expect certain things out of it. But now, with some of this stuff coming out, if you look at his body of work, it's been strange things in his history. So then, you know, you go on his Twitter page, you click on his likes, you see things that he's liking. That's the question. Would you come up in here with a matching shirt with me?
Hell no.
Hell no. Hey, would you pop out with a matching shirt with me, bro? Now, put that on something. You would pop out with. No, boy, it's not going like that, bro. Would you let me call you daddy? No, bro. I've been saying this for years. I think these boys friends. The things they into, I've seen so much. I've seen a lot, bro. So, like with him, look how he responded to the situation. Not one time did he come out and say these things are lies. Did you see that?
Yep.
He didn't say that.
Didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny nothing. Because if he denied it, what's going to come out? Footage.
So you think Diddy has footage on me?
For sure. He got cameras through his whole crib. Every millionaire, billionaire I've been around with, they got, I know what's going on. So if I go into the bathroom, cut the lights off, put the flash on my phone, and look at the mirror. If it's got that little hollow circle at the bottom, there's cameras in there. It's gonna be all through the crib. That's why most times I'm gonna chill in the car. Call me, text me if it's getting dangerous. I'm coming in demonstrating. Point blank period. This the fact, bro. I've been saying this for years, bro. For years. That's why I stopped just going by myself. Cause I be having my own money. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't just tell me anything. So I'm about to say, me and phone, I'm telling this. I'm not gonna pay for all your friends. The guys got cheese. We go to the club, we're gonna buy our own bottles. We're gonna stand right here and make sure don't nothing happen. But when it comes to that camera stuff, people not denying it.
According to the feds, did he allegedly orchestrate at a network where women were coerced into sex work, flying them across state lines and forcing them into acts of sexual exploitation with other men?
Going on with this story, Diddy, right? I mean, a lot of people are calling him the Epstein of the music, the Hollywood world, the business, what do you call it, the entertainment world. I read this story and then I want to kind of get your thoughts on this here. So here's a story. Sean Diddy Combs' former bodyguard claims music mogul had tapes of politicians and princes out there. And we'll play this clip in a minute. Gene Deal, who was present the night before Notorious B.I.G. Biggie was fatally shot in 1997, made the sensational comments during an interview with Art of Dialogue YouTube channel. And here's what he had to say. Go for it, Rob.
I know he was recording everything.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Is he talking about who I think he's talking about?
You think?
Is he? Hallelujah! Cat Williams commented on that.
Now, Williams definitely brought him on a preacher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what preacher that is?
I don't.
Okay. You don't know the preacher that was seen with Diddy at one of the parties that Cat Williams says, I don't care whether you're TD Jakes or Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
So
he was the truth coming out in 2024.
Listen, again, this is allegedly. That's what he's saying. Your thoughts on this story here?
So it wasn't just this guy that was saying it. Lil Rod, the former producer, filed the lawsuit, and he said every room in Diddy's mansions were wired with cameras. And he had some of the footage, he had some of the pictures, and he displayed those in the lawsuit that came out. And this was used for blackmail material. They bring in these people. A lot of these people were also aspiring young artists in the music industry. And then these parties were sponsored by Motown Records CEO, Universal Records CEO. This goes all the way to the top. And so you get these people in compromising situations. The drinks were laced, the videotapes were hot, and then at the end of the day, you wake up the next morning, oh, what did I do? And then they have compromising material on. And then they can guide your career. They could kill your career, but they got you. And it wasn't just people in the music business. As you said, there were athletes, there were celebrities, there were politicians, people from the royal family. And we were also told by the former bodyguard that Diddy was an FBI informant. So he was a snitch and he was feeding information to the feds. And we don't know what that means. We haven't been able to confirm it, but even Little Rod said it's not just like Epstein. It could be worse than Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, let me ask you this: when you're seeing something like that, do you think, you know how somebody is making money for you, you can't lose them because they're still making money for you, right? So, for example, like an athlete, LeBron James, he's still getting a lot of endorsements, he's still making a lot of money. You got to make sure you protect that asset because that guy's making you a lot of money. I think the number one person right now that you have to protect in music is Taylor Swift. You have to protect her. It's a big insurance policy. She's young. She's going to be around for a long time to come. The concerts, the money making, the $5 billion, the tours, all that stuff. Nothing can go wrong with her because if God forbid something happens, you're making money off of it.
You don't take Taylor to a Diddy party.
Oh, yeah.
You don't go anywhere near a freak-off party.
That's right. So here's where I'm going with this. Do you think Diddy's at a phase that, how do you make money off Diddy today? Because what's Diddy doing today? He's not performing. So is it more that you protect Diddy because the people that he knows that he can destroy their lives, that you kind of like have to keep him quiet? Or do you have to find a way to eliminate him, kind of like they try to eliminate this guy named Jeffrey?
I don't know if he was being eliminated by the FBI or even by the Universal Records executives. What happened was Cassie filed this lawsuit. He settled in about 48 hours.
Very fast.
So then everybody goes, oh, what? Diddy settling?
Yeah.
So everybody starts filing. And so Lil Rod files some real graphic, nasty stuff. We're talking minors, sex trafficking, ecstasy and the alcohol, and then all hell blows loose. And that's when the feds come in and raid. And they go right to the camera system and pull all the servers out. And they, I believe, arrested the drug mule. And so they're closing in. They're going to build a case. And look, is this something that's coming down at the highest level? I have no idea. But I know Diddy's life is about to blow up. And there's really no way to get out of this.
And I want to say this, and Vinny, I want to go to you because Ashton Kutcher is...
These women were often subjected to emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, and Diddy is accused of being the mastermind behind it. All reports also suggest that he may have forced women into participating in highly organized sexual performances.
As he prepares to be subpoenaed on Diddy's case. That's one. Next one, Sean Diddy Combs' ex Cassie, that he paid off, I think $30 million, whatever the number is, cooperating with federal investigations amid the sex trafficking probe.
That's bad.
That's very bad,
that's
right?
Bad.
So, next one, Sean Diddy Combs still continues carefree in Miami. This is a story from yesterday. Lifestyle by smoking and drinking after federal raids. Sean Diddy Combs' youngest son, Christian King, 25, is now sued. So it's like, if it isn't one thing, it's another thing constantly popping up. Anyway.
But just from my point of view, though, he's in Miami, he's riding bikes, he's taking photos. He seems as if he doesn't have a care in the world. To me, somebody from the outside looking in, it seems like they're like, hey, listen, especially with the Cassie thing, that thing blew the top off of everything. We have to go in there. You don't be there. We're going to make the play. We're going to grab all the footage and everything. I think people are going to fall. Nothing is going to happen to him. He's going to be protected. But they've been using Diddy for how long, Jesse? From the politicians, from Maxine Waters.
So back in 2004, he launched Vote or Die.
Yep.
So he was for Kerry. Then he was for Obama.
Yep.
And it was for Hillary. And then he's for Biden. So he has been the community organizer for the Democratic Party in the streets for about 20 years. He's a valuable asset.
Big time. And they gave, like, he started Revolt through
Maxine
Waters.
Gave him a cut in order for that merger to go through. She said, my guy has to get a piece of the pie.
So if you think about it, he's obviously in with these higher up politicians. You're in there recording all these people and having all this dirt. Like they say with Epstein was working for Mossad, or God knows who he was working for. Who knows who Diddy was with? Like, he's not recording all these people, all these princes, just to have like footage for when he's older to show to his kid. This is This is a coordinated thing, and I think the Cassie thing blew the top off. And now they're like, we have to go in and make sure nothing is incriminating for us, or else he does.
Right, because when they went in and raided Epstein's mansions, we never saw any of that footage.
Not 1 minute.
Only Ghislaine Maxwell went down.
Bingo.
They never got anybody else, and he had tapes in Little St. James. He had tapes in the Upper East Side. He had tapes in New Mexico, in Palm Beach. We never heard anything else about them.
Exactly.
Jesse, you said something a little bit earlier, and I was like, whoa, because he's been called the Black Epstein.
Yeah.
You said earlier that this could even be worse than Epstein. How do you feel about that? Like, that's a pretty shocking statement.
That's what Lil Rod alleges in the lawsuit.
Well, you covered this. How do you stand?
I don't know if he's talking about the violence towards women, or the age or the age factor of the minors, or the drug factor. Epstein, there was not a lot of drugs. This case has drugs.
Yeah.
This case has lots of narcotics. If you read the filings, we're talking meth, cocaine, PCP, ecstasy.
The stuff in the drink that make you pass out so you don't remember whatever. Roofie.
Rohypnol.
Yeah, everybody was getting roofie. And apparently everybody, there was even conversations of, I just saw another video where Diddy is giving a drink to Justin Bieber, and you keep seeing videos with him and Justin Bieber, and like they're making sure that Justin Bieber is drinking it, and there's another cut of him in the party, and Justin Bieber just looks like a little bit
What
off.
age was he at the time?
Does it really matter at that point? Justin Bieber now is just, I mean, he was young with blonde hair, like he was like, what, 17, 18?
Did you see this video?
Yeah,
Watch him pat him down.
Look, this is
checking
recently.
for potential
Look, he's touching
wires.
He's touching his chest. He's touching his chest. Make sure you don't have a wire on you. Look
So
at that.
I got a message. I'm trying to see. I'm not going to reveal the source, but I got a message from a guy saying that some of this has to do with that drink company, Diageo. That is, if you look at, can you type in what Diageo's market cap is?
They're massive.
Type in Diageo market cap. Yeah, right there. If you just type in Diageo market cap, $81 billion. And what this insider said to me, just purely on what could happen, it's given. I'm not giving the source. Speculation. He said they owe him $2 billion, and he said it could be the fact that they are doing this to not have to pay him $2 billion. Now, can you just type in Diageo owes Diddy $2 billion. See if anything like that comes up. Diageo owes Diddy $2 billion. Go to news. Can you go just to news at the top? Let's see what stories pop.
They've seen enough people to come through, so you writing all those hits and you not getting the money from it. How many years, Mace? Didn't get the money from Bad Boy Bad, that's that they use on Will Smith them bad boys. I went to the premiere with Puff. Mace wasn't even there, but he wrote that we'd love to hear what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching this video, guys. Bye-bye.